Alright guys, so I've spent an absurd amount of time trying to beat the hut challenges early to get ahead of all you crazy kids that somehow end up with 5 million coins in a week. So here are my findings. What we're going to talk about today is how to successfully beat all of the hut challenges. Some of them are not easy. No Sleeves 12, this is how to beat the hut challenges. Alright guys, so like I said, I have found a pretty easy way to beat all of the hut challenges, at least get through them. Not 3-star them, but get through almost all the superstar ones because they are very difficult. So let's start with the settings. You want to completely abandon what you normally use in online modes. You want to change your forecheck and everything to full out aggressiveness, which is fine. I recommend passive against good players, but for the most part, when it comes to the forecheck and like that, full out aggressiveness. But where the big change is on defense. You want to set everything to collapsing and protect net or contain the puck. And the reason for that is because the CPU can find open lanes better than you can. It's just coded like you're literally playing a computer, right? So unless you're playing perfect positional defense, which very few people that play NHL do, because A, they haven't played real hockey, or B, you just haven't been shown where to be and what to do with each player. You get chasing a lot of like that, and on superstar mode, it's nuts because the CPU will just find the open guy. So what you do is you set everything to collapsing and protect net, and you just wait. Because what I've found is that they pass the puck around a lot, but they'll take shots that just don't make any sense. Low percentage ones from the outside. You force them to the outside and they can't do those backdoor one-timers, you're in really good shape. So set everything to collapsing in the defensive zone and protect that, and then just wait to get the puck back. Don't worry about time on attack unless the challenge actually calls for you to time on attack, but then you could just offensive zone puck rag, which I can show you guys later on. But for the defensive strategies, like I said, everything's set to collapsing. So here's a little clip of what I mean by collapsing in your own net. When you select your player, you want to not run all the way out to the perimeter. You just want to stay in the slot. Think like the skill zone, only to an even bigger extent, because you want almost your entire lineup in the middle of the ice, because the CPU won't go for rebound shots. They'll go to the perimeter and they'll take shots, but it'll just be at your goalie most of the time, or really bad angles. And I found that they don't really score at all. And I'm going to show you how to score now, though, on the flip side of that. Now on offense, there's a few things I want to discuss. One is you have to live on the L2 or the left trigger. Okay, you need to be back skating a ton. The reason for it is it's an easy speed burst. Unfortunately, in this game, one of the things I'm not a big fan of is if you half hold L2, you'll get a little speed burst. But more importantly, entering the zone, if you give your back to the CPU and then fire that wrist shot like that far side, it goes in more often than not. Here's what I mean by the half spin. All you have to do is slightly hold it down, and you only have to do it for a half second. You get a burst coming out of it, and the CPU really doesn't like it when you do the full spin. So if you come in holding it and then switch off and do the full spin around, you'll get around them quite a bit. But most often times when you're playing offense, or you're playing superstar or all-star mode, the defender will cover and stick lift the other guy on 2-on-1s and things like that. So I'll show you guys my recommendations for how to actually score when you're on a 2-on-1. So here it is, guys. The way to score against CPUs that are on all-star or superstar: use the goalie's pads as your biggest weapon. Literally shoot from anywhere. Slap shot, wrist shot, hard on the pads. Rebounds are the only consistent way to get goals against the extremely hard CPU settings. They play so well positionally that the one-timer, the backdoor one-timers, and short-side wristers just do not go in. The goalies will stop the short-side wrister, and I have a really, really good team, and even like Ovechkin can't pick corners and things like that. It's something you're going to notice in the full game when playing against players as well, but especially against CPUs that know how to play defense. Fire it far side along the ice, and it's how you're going to get consistent goals and beat almost all of the challenges extremely easy. This can be done from the point. It doesn't matter. It can be done from the goal line. Just shoot at their feet, and it's the best way to go. I would recommend it for everyone that's struggling. Now, this is just for how to score and how to defend. I'll get into how to actually complete the other ones, such as hits and blocks and things like that. So here's my honest recommendation when it comes to tackling the challenges at launch, okay? You want to burn through them as fast as possible if you're trying to grind coins and just get ahead. So what you want to do is the ones that focus on scoring goals, like score 3 goals, win the game, score 2 goals. Those are the ones you want to focus on. Make sure you just score the goals. Now, the other ones, as far as anyone considering going up and doing one of the ones that require a power play goal or you to get 50% on your power play, completely ignore it. In the current tuner in the build game right now, the AI just doesn't take penalties because stick lifts are able to kind of be spammed. You can't do the old defensive zone puck rag and wait for the CPU to take a hooking call. It just won't happen. I've played about 70 challenges, and I've literally had 2 power plays. So just currently ignore it. I will say this, it is being discussed quite a bit behind the scenes, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if there's some sort of adjustment made. Until there is, and it's actually mentioned in a tuner, just ignore the ones that are on the power play. You're going to waste way too much time trying to be a perfectionist, so just completely ignore the power play ones. Now, when it comes to blocking shots, they register a little bit more. And because the settings that I give you, they aren't just, how to stop the CPU on aggressive and superstar and all-star and things like that. It's a really good way to get blocked shots because they will shoot from anywhere, and all you got to do is just control your D-man, forwards, doesn't matter, and just be in line of the point shots, okay? If you stand in the way and it hits you, it does seem like it is counting as a block as opposed to last year where they just weren't. Now you can L1 right after the shot's been done if you want to be sure, because the crouch block will 100% work. But for the most part, all you have to do is just stand in front of the shots from the point and the perimeter. And again, it's a lot easier when you're doing protect net and collapsing. Now, the easiest ones are the penalty kill, because you can just you can take infinite penalty kills. Power plays you can't control, the CPU has to take a penalty. But in on the power play ones, if it's a percentage one where it's like get 75% on the power play, and what I'd recommend doing is getting the lead, and then just with about 10 seconds to go in the third or a little bit left in the third, just fire it over the glass or take a tripping call. It's insanely easy to get tripping calls still. So that's all I would recommend. It's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just fire it over the boards with very little time left to go, and you'll get the penalty kill ones done. If it's a short-handed one, because you're playing 2 full minutes, I'd recommend just taking it as soon as right off the bat and try to score a goal, because you're not going to waste any time if you take the penalty right away. It's not like you're slowing down the clock even more. It is already very slow, so I would recommend just taking the penalty right away, trying to score the goal, and then move on. Now, the face-off ones, good luck. These ones are extremely frustrating, okay? And the reason for it is because you can't outthink someone that doesn't have a brain for the most part. There's a rock, paper, scissors mentality to face off still, but because you're playing a CPU, you can't get in their head, essentially, with how you're winning the draw. What I'd recommend is if they go line up forehand, do the backhand stick lift. If they line up backhand, do a tie-up and just take as many. There's a few challenges that are like win 5 face-offs or win 10 face-offs or win 3 more than your opponent. What I'd recommend is just take 1,000,000 face-offs. You can do that by taking 1,000,000 penalties, things like that, and just completely ignore it. But that's what I would recommend. Just take as many face-offs as possible. And honestly, if you do the tie-up or backhand stick lift, that works more often than not as well. But for these ones, when you play like the CPU on a Superstar Aggressive or on All-Star, it's very difficult. So just be prepared. Those ones are the most frustrating, other than the power play. So guys, that is how to easily beat the hut challenges. There is no cheese like last year where you could just do the slider trick, unfortunately. So just to quickly recap, on offense, fire everything and everything. Selfish hockey, boys. Jonesy said it best. Shoot from anywhere. A shot is a shot. Just aim low. If you struggle aiming low when playing with the up camera, literally switch to down so that you're going down. Because for these for a Superstar and All-Star mode, that is legit the best way to score. The short side wristers and things that you're used to in the past do not go in. And again, I'm lucky enough to have a very, very good team early on, and I still struggle with picking corners and things like that, especially from the point. Just fire it low, look for tips. Tips are back. 18, there was no tipping, it would just stop dead. In 19, they do redirect quite a bit, and that's how you're going to score off or not. In the defensive zone, collapse. Just fall right into your goalie and just let them skate around. Unless it's a challenge that requires you to get a time on attack, literally just wait for them to lose the puck and play good positionally and just sit in front of your net, and you'll be fine, guys. I would totally recommend burning through as many challenges as you can in the first week if you're looking to get ahead in hut. The people that have 100,000 coins early on, I just crossed 100,000. I've probably played like 6 hours of hut, I want to say, maybe a little bit longer. Again, I was lucky enough to get it early, but you burn through the challenges early on because everyone just wants to rip packs and play the in-play comp seasons and things like that. The people that get a lot of coins are the ones that are going to be able to dominate the market early. I mentioned in my other video that collectibles and things like that early on are what you want to go for, and having a huge amount of capital so you can buy them all up right away is extremely advantageous. So guys, I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments section below. Hit me up on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah guys, I'll see you around a lot this year. I'm No Sleeps 12. You guys stay sweet.